So we take manure ya mombe, and then tunaisa mno organic matter, mashija, uswa, mashanga, and all that. We put them together, trace some worms, and then we allow the worms to break down the manure, and also my worms are excreta, very full of nutrients. So we call it my worm castings, which is chinema worms. So break it down, the castings are very, very high in nutrients for the crops. Saka manyoya tikazomaisa mumunda manje anobatsira kuti ivhu iri ribatane rochikwanisa kuhodha mvura nekuhodha nutrients and all that.
As Zimbabwe faces a potentially crunching drought and food crisis owing to the El Nino, just outside Harare, green jobs, food is being produced on small pieces of land to transform the economy of this country, to transform how people feed themselves, using less fertilizer or less AN, which is also just very expensive because of the war in Ukraine and Russia. On the situation right now, we're going to be taking you through a process just in Ruwa, where we are talking to Ngoni Sanangura, an accountant by profession who has turned into one of those big agricultural people using greenhouses. Now, thank you, Ngoni, for joining me here on the situation right now at your plot in Ruwa.
Yeah, thank you, Blessed. Thank you for coming through.
Yeah, so now, Ngoni, just tell us the establishment. What is here? What are you doing here in Ruwa?
So here we have a piece of land that's been lying idle for so many years. The reason was the soils in this place are very sandy, and we didn't feel that the soils were good enough for us to do our farming here. And we then decided to introduce vermiculture, which is a way of breathing life into the soils to try and make it arable, and that's what we've been doing here. So we have about 7 greenhouses that we are using to do horticulture, mostly producing tomatoes, peppers, watermelons, onion, cabbages, lettuce, broccoli, cauliflower, babe marrow for our market, mostly here in Harare.
Now, but let's talk about the establishment. You said 7 greenhouses,
yeah.
but that's just a number. Let's talk about the space that they occupy. Your greenhouse, how big are they?
So we have 2 greenhouses that are 2,000 square meters each, and then we've got 3 that are 2,400 square meters each, and then we've got 2 big ones that are 3,500 square meters each.
Amazing. And we understand that today there's going to be a visit that a tour that you're going to take people through. Can you take us through that?
Yeah, so we've invited one of the schools in Harare called Selborne Primary School for a tour for them to come and appreciate what we're doing here, because our intention is to also help them to sort of do or emulate what we're doing here at the school to try and subsidize costs for the school.
Amazing.
Because I mean, schools have got so much land, and we don't want schools to be buying vegetables when they can be able to farm them themselves. So, but also I've realized that agriculture is a business. So as long as you run it properly as a business, there is money to be made in agriculture. But also I think just the satisfaction that you are also playing a part in feeding the nation. I think that for me was good enough a motivation. Whereas this year with the expected drought, we really want to play a part to make sure that people have got sufficient food. So yeah, food security is really what's pushing me to be in this space.
We had this land redistribution exercise.
Yeah.
Did you benefit from it?
Unfortunately, I hated agriculture at the time when the land was being redistributed, and that's one thing that my father always said to me, to say, so why are you not participating, you know? And in hindsight now I regret I should have participated.
Amazing. But then there's so many pieces of land that are lying idle and stuff like that. How do you feel when you drive along the highways and you see land that is underutilized?
My heart bleeds when I see land that's not being utilized, because I think a lot of people don't appreciate the value that is there in farming, the value that's there in agriculture. It is really a growing industry, and I foresee, you know, the future millionaires and billionaires coming from agriculture.
Amazing. Now, what has been so far, you know, the greatest challenge for you as you take in this path, this agricultural path?
I think the biggest challenge for me was trying to make these soils arable. and it's a challenge that I decided to take head on. And I think we are winning. As you can see, the papers are doing so well. It's because we've gone into vermiculture, which we are using to really make these soils rich and try and breathe some life into the soil. And I think if people come here and see what these crops are doing in these sandy soils, it's really unbelievable. And there are a lot of people out there that have sandy soils who are not farming because they think that the soils are not good enough. Yet you can be able to sort of bring in vermiculture into your space, make your own organic soil, and then put it into your greenhouses or into your fields. And by doing that, you are extending the lifespan of the soil, you are making it more nutritious, and the crops will flourish.
But some speak about capital because it's expensive to bring up these structures, is it not?
Look, I don't think capital should be a hindrance if someone wants to do farming. You can start small, either by even doing open field farming, and once you realize some returns, you can start doing your greenhouses one by one and grow from there. So I don't really think that capital should be a hindrance to anybody that wants to venture into farming. Land should be the problem.
Amazing. So now we're going to take a tour together with Sobon Rutledge, and we're going to allow Ngoni to take us through the vermicompost, the greenhouse, and the crops that they're doing, so that you can also, if you can learn one or two things from this tour, you'll be able to do that. Now, thank you very much, Ngoni.
Thank you very much.
Take us through the tour.
Thank you. Thank you. Kuende kwa maponzo kuna makombari kwa. Saka takaisa mapipe anobuda uko. Such that kana takuda because pani inonzi vermi wash, which is liquid inobuda umo. It's very rich also in nutrients. So what we do with that is to know you collect and then to some knapsack spray to spray my crops as a foliar fertilizer. Okay. Yes. Saka pari two more fertilizer anobuda up. The vermicompost, which is what we are. So this one we normally apply it as part of our basal application. But ngetichi talent preparation paper. Tsatajgara. Trace manure first. Then once the crop yakura, tinozo call it a major vermi wash. And then do it need to spray weekly in the crops.
Saka manure, can you mix the mashanga and the mashiko?
Monomga. Yes. It's actually recommended quitra carbon. So you want to have carbon in there. Saka trace maoswa, we put mashanga. So ideally what we do is trace a layer of manure, say about 10 centimeters. And then trace a layer of mashanga. And then we put food manure up so timuda. Yeah, to introduce carbon into the manure. Yes. Because high nitrogen. Saka no raya the worms.
I want to raise my worms.
If you want to do manure euku, you must compost them first for about 3 to 6 months. And then to wash away all that nitrogen. That's why even manure euku are not recommended with some direct. Yes, because of the high nitrogen. They are not so good. But no isam trace such calf like makoko ema watermelon do ano farra zakanyanya. So but no such calf pipe ano ungana papo achijiga calf. And then in the process that's how they mate. Yes. So they quickly multiply. Yes. My worms are net much. So what we do is to know any much calf. We put feed one end. Ano famba chenda kunishikafu. Yes. Tuchitora e. Tatora e. We kuna sarro zakuma mashoma. We select them, and then trace food manyo. We start putting feed. They come back. So as a school now, this could be quite a profitable project to do, in the sense that the worms are very expensive. Okay. I need about $50, $40 to $50 a kg. Okay. Of the worms. So it means if you culture them, it takes a bit of time. What are patience are? Because an investment there, and then you patiently just culture them. Wonder, you can produce the manure. This manure, on average, there's a few guys that are looking, but I don't know because of the high demand. But a bag is between $10 to $15 of this manure. Okay. There's a lot of farmers. Now there is an increase in exports for berries, strawberries, blueberries, and most of those guys want organic fertilizer because export market wants organic. So there's a big shortage and big demand for vermicompost. Okay. Yes. So if it's something that the school may consider, but it's not a quick man type of project. But once it starts kicking, you'll be able to make a lot of money.
Saka muri kuti imi from bottom kusvika pamusoro chinhingi chemanyowa is about 40 centimeters.
Yeah, we want about 40 centimeters.
Achizoda kukura maningi.
Achidi kukura maningi.
Pinde mweya. Okay.
Yes. And it's not from Chakaslopa. So one side is 30 centimeters, one side is 40 centimeters.
Okay.
Yes, because we're trying to harvest the liquid. Yeah, you want to be able to harvest. Like, Slanda is that side, and then we can harvest the liquid over there. So you find that you make more money from the liquid than from the manure itself.
40 centimeter igomba kana kuti manure.
Gomba.
Okay.
Yes. So this one is slightly more because Patakarisa we wanted to do something different from this, and then take us no, since we have the ponds, why not utilize them? Yeah. Mati? The maturity depends on the number of worms you have. Kanama worms are and mature quicker. Yes, because it's and like this one's auto mature. Muganokura is it's more almost powder. Patakama is angari magodo anga ivamdanga. Yes, and muna like aruma zero ayo. They were like that. Some were even bigger than that. Yes. Plus also anga black because of the worm castings, matotema worms. Because matotema worms are what we really want the most. Because they are so nutritious. What we are looking to do now is to increase our production with a view to now starting to sell our excess manure, which is why we now have these big ponds here. So I think we foresee maybe we should be able to do maybe 10 to 20 tons, I think, per pond. Our goal is to try and, yes, so our goal is to try and do about eventually 100 tons per month of manure. That's what we are targeting. Yeah, so you can feel kunok manure, they're smelling because the worms have not started. So we haven't put any worms here. We've just been laying, you can see some bit of grass there and the manure, so the guys are just taking. So all that manure you saw there was like that, all those big lumps, but they've just been broken down by the worms. So these ones have been around for a bit longer, these ponds here, all the way down. I think we've put worms in there, we put worms I think about 4 months ago, about 4 months now. So we are breeding more worms in there as well, because now we want to harvest this manure in January when we plant in our January planting. So when we harvest the manure for January planting, we'll take all the worms in there and then we put them in these ponds. We'll also harvest all those worms we were seeing over there to put in these ponds, so that we continue to breed more and more and more, including the ones that we are culturing at home. We also then bring them to fill up the ponds, because these ponds are going to need a lot of worms to try and push the breaking down and the processing of the manure. And this one should be ready for us when we do our August planting, because we do 2 plantings per year, January and August. So by the time we get to August, these ponds will be ready for us to then take the manure into the greenhouses. Yeah, but most importantly, over that time, we'll be harvesting a lot of the liquid, because the liquid is also quite profitable when you sell it, because you're just putting water, you drain the nutrients, you bottle them into my 1 liter, my 5 liter, and you sell. And then the worms will continue excreting more waste, putting back those nutrients that you have drained. Yes, yeah.
So which means with this manure, you can actually do away with fertilizers?
Yes. So for us now, we are pushing, of our crops, we are pushing more organic. So instead of applying an ammonium nitrate and so forth, we just apply the liquid on a weekly basis. So it helps to cut down on your fertilizer cost big time. So even for basal, when you apply our basal fertilizer, we put more of this now. Yes. And less of your compound C or compound D.
So in other words, good for exports, Kenya.
Sorry? Yes, we can actually export if we want. Yeah. You were saying?
No, I was going to say, can you actually do away with chemical fertilizers completely?
Yes.
Okay.
You can.
I thought you were talking about 60 to 70%.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you can actually do away with those fertilizers as long as you're producing enough.
Okay.
But for us now, what we do is we do a combination of the vermiculture as well as the rabbit urine. because rabbit urine is a good fertilizer as well. So we keep a lot of rabbits, and then we harvest that urine. So when we are applying on our crops, we alternate.
How do you apply the rabbit urine?
With a foliar spray.
Oh, it's on the leaves.
Yes. So we spray just like how we spray with the Vermiculture liquid. Yes.
After using this
Sorry?
spray your crops, chemicals from the
Chemicals. So I think one of the big mistakes that farmers make is if you're in WhatsApp groups, you will see people requesting for PDFs. I'm looking for a PDF for Madomas, Emma Cabbage, and those PDFs are in my program. So next week's sprayer checkout, next week's sprayer checkout. What are you spraying for? Because the program says you must spray. You see now. So for us, we don't do that. We will spray when there's a need. Because why should you just keep increasing your costs because there's a PDF that's saying you must spray this chemical when there's no sign whatsoever that the chemical is needed. So you just keep pushing your costs unnecessarily. So we don't. Yeah. We spray more of the fertilizers. And then here and there, we may also spray some preventatives. If there is maybe to identify, because we also inspect our greenhouses. So to maybe a certain pest, then want to prevent that pest from multiplying, so we then can spray a preventative. But otherwise, we don't follow any PDFs. Yes. So normally we feed our worms twice a month. So once every two weeks, we put some food, and then when we turn, if we see the food is not there anymore, we just add some.
So they can put
Sadza, they eat sadza as well. As long as the sadza, you wash it. There should be no soup, salt. Yes. So you must wash it. Or you can just do kapoto kadzo, kema worms. Yes. Yeah, an extra pot for the worms. Remember, you must live in harmony with them. Yes. So Panapa, we've got this whole hectare of watermelons. So we've been harvesting here for quite some time, but we're struggling to keep up. So the temperatures are also affecting us because of the high temperatures that we have been experiencing. So we've been praying for some bit of rains to cool down the melons a bit. But so we sell the melons. Those that are sort of going bad, we take them into our ponds to feed our worms. Our staff here and there, we also give them to eat. Yeah, so it's just that now there's no more flowers. But if you had come here during the time that the watermelons were flowering, you'd be scared to go in there. Yes, because we were also feeding the bees within the field to try and get as many bees as we can to come to help us with the pollination, as well as helping to make the watermelon sweets of these watermelons. Yes. So when you go into the main supermarkets, some of our watermelons are there.
Oh.
Yes. Mostly Spa and Pick and Pay. They are there.
This is good. They're very healthy.
Yeah. Right, so Munom, we planted 22,000 seedlings of pepper. It's mostly red and yellow pepper. So it's green to yellow and green to red. Fed mostly from our vermiwash and vermicompost. So you will see that we put the plastic mulching. So the plastic mulching serves two purposes. Number one, to avoid weeds from growing. Because you can imagine how big this is. Sakura will be a challenge. Why paper? For me, paper is easier to plant and grow in terms of diseases compared to, for example, tomatoes. Peppers are less susceptible to diseases. Plus also, it's a high value crop, so you make more compared to other types of vegetables. So here we plant more of peppers than any other crop. We then just do the other crops when we are rotating our greenhouses. A lot of vines on the crops, so some farmers keep only 2 vines and then they cut the rest. We don't. We leave all the vines there, we leave all the leaves there. Now, the reason why we do that is because we want to maximize the number of fruits that we harvest per plant. So each vine will have its own fruits. So all we do is we just make sure we feed the plant so much so that it can be able to support all those fruits. So on a weekly basis, we spray our vermiculture, our vermiwash, sorry. We spray our rabbit urine religiously on a weekly basis to try and just make sure that we keep feeding the plant so that it has sufficient food for the crops. So the vermicompost which we apply as our basal, as well as the vermiwash, will help to keep feeding the plant so that it can support the fruit sizes. So you find that once we harvest the lower fruits, the ones at the top will also start growing in size because all the nutrients are now being directed to those at the top. So the fruit size doesn't become smaller as the plants are growing. We keep just feeding to make sure that we maintain a good size. Yeah. So we hope to harvest on a daily basis here not less than 2 tons per day. So the way we trellis, we don't put. So some people one is a tambo inena badenga. So if you do that, you reduce your output, because if you put tambo, it means you're going to keep only 2 vines, and you put rope on those 2 vines. So we do side trellising.
What about if this were a tomato crop like you?
Yes, that one you have to trellis. No, that one you have to put tambo inena badenga. Yeah. So ideally, if kept raw tomato, you must harvest for 6 to 9 months continuously. And so, like I was saying, Pepe, the height of your greenhouse is too short, and you see the height that we do here. So it allows you to tomato renyu regareba. Parnoshika kumsoro, you would have finished harvesting my fruits as a pass, so you can pull it down, so that you don't have flower, harvest. But if the height is short, it means parno duma paroof, my fruits pass. So you can't pull it down. Because if you pull it down, my fruits are gonna go pass. Diseases will start. Yes, your blossom end rot, they will start. Bacterial diseases will start. So you can't then. So you'll be forced to cut them at the top. Could arambas grow? So by doing that now, you are limiting or reducing your production. Yes. So the height has to be right. If the height is not right, you are going to lose money. Yeah. We've got our paneting machines here. We're still, like I said, it's still work in progress. We're going to put my shelves proper for us to put our machines for paneting. And then we'll have other tables, my side of my shelves, where we will pack. And then once we are now dispatching, then dispatch from there. But already this is going into our supermarkets. Yeah. So the 2 greenhouses you see here, this one and that one, also have paper. Yeah. Yeah. So the other thing that we also do, you see this little greenhouse here. I think it's almost the same size as yours. This is about 200 square meters. So that's where we do all our experiments. So before we go into the main greenhouse, we test everything in there, so that when we then go into the main greenhouse, it should be almost 99%. So anything that we want to try, we try in there. Yes. So all the experiments we do, so we record, because we take students on attachment. My degrees from when I use it and the like. So those ones now we attach them there. So to know on a daily basis, to know like tablets which got up, take to measure out my centimeters, crop area, it could have been a many centimeters per day. My fruit size, each fruit you could have many grams, total fruits that we get for that plant, angari mangani. So we try and come up with an average. So it's really well documented. So that each line will be doing different things. So we'll be applying different things, we apply different things, we apply different things. But we also use my biologicals. So to compare and we document all that. Then whichever formula is giving us the best results, we have to transfer from there into the greenhouse.
So the situation right now, we've taken you through this agricultural tour with the Ngoni, Sanangura. You have seen the ponds, you have seen the crops, you have seen the greenhouses. Now, Ngoni, thank you very much for the amazing tour. What message would you share with people out there who would want to know more about what you're doing?
I think to anybody out there who's been fascinated by what we are doing here, I want to challenge somebody. Myself, I've been concentrating more on counting my whole life. Little did I realize that there is money in farming, there is money in agriculture. So I want to challenge especially the youths out there that it is possible for you to do like what I've done here. I'm not saying I've achieved, but I think I'm enjoying what I'm doing. And when you come here, we saw we're having some nice watermelons there. So it's something that I'm challenging everyone out there to say agriculture is a business, it's profitable. Instead of sitting home doing drugs and all that, find a piece of land, start small, and you will grow from there. This is a very profitable venture. The future is in agriculture.
Yeah, before we go, you've got your way of tweeting on social media, controversial tweets. Why do you appear to have some fun poking people?
Look, when I tweet on Twitter, on X rather now, those controversial tweets draw a lot of attention, but that's how I market. So normally when I'm tweeting, you see I put my agricultural produce on there. That's how I attract my customers there. And I must say that this business has grown partly because of being on X. A lot of customers out there have been coming to buy the watermelons, to buy the peppers on X. So it's a way of me marketing my produce, and it's worked very, very well.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Ngoni, and wish you the best.
Thanks, Blessed. Thanks for coming here.
And we'll see you for the Zondo.
Yes.
Now, this is Ngoni Sanangura, and this is the work that he's doing here in Ruwa. Now, he's open. If you follow him on X, if you want advice, you can just get to contact him. But this is the work that young people are doing in this country, making a difference, feeding the nation, and creating jobs, green jobs. And there's nothing better than agriculture. There's nothing better than green jobs because it's renewable and it can continue over and over again. It's unlike mining. After you've mined, you've taken out the minerals, there's land degradation. If the mineral is exhausted, it finishes there. But agriculture?
We keep going.
We keep going.
Yeah.